Waking up to pee at night isn't just annoying, it's a hidden threat to your health. What seems like a simple inconvenience could be a warning sign your body can't afford to ignore. Stay with me, and I'll show you what's really going on and exactly what to do about it. Have you ever found yourself waking up in the middle of the night, not because of a nightmare or a sudden noise, but because of an urgent need to use the bathroom? You're not alone. For millions of people, especially as they age, this becomes an increasingly common and frustrating experience. What starts as an occasional inconvenience quietly becomes a nightly disruption, interfering with sleep, mood, and overall quality of life. And yet most people simply accept it. It's just part of getting older, they say. But what if it's not? What if this seemingly harmless habit is actually your body's way of whispering that something deeper needs your attention? Let's start with a truth that few talk about. Waking up to urinate once in a while might seem normal, but when it happens consistently, it begins to chip away at your physical and mental health. Interrupted sleep has been linked to increased stress, memory lapses, weakened immunity, and even a higher risk of chronic diseases. Still, the connection between nighttime urination and these health issues remains surprisingly under-discussed. Most people aren't aware that this condition has a name, nocturia. It's more than just a nuisance. It's a physiological signal. And like many signals the body sends, it's often misunderstood or ignored until it snowballs into bigger problems. But here's the thing, nocturia doesn't have a single cause. It can result from multiple factors: lifestyle, diet, hormonal changes, and even stress. And yes, while aging does play a role, it's far from the whole story. That's why understanding this issue from a holistic perspective is key. Because when you know what's behind it, you can do something about it. In the United States, it's not uncommon for adults over 60 to wake up once or twice a night to urinate, but that frequency often increases over time. And what most people don't realize is how that simple act of waking up repeatedly affects everything from blood pressure regulation to heart rhythm. It's like asking your body to shift between rest and alertness in an instant, over and over again. That's exhausting, and it's not natural. Even more concerning, research shows that broken sleep patterns, especially in older adults, are associated with higher risks of falls, nighttime confusion, and decreased cognitive function. It's not just about being tired. It's about your body and mind being constantly out of sync. This can silently erode your health, day after day. Yet despite how common it is, few people ever ask the right questions. What am I doing that might be making this worse? Could my dinner habits be playing a role? What about the timing of the liquids I consume? Or even the stress I carry into bed each night? The answers might surprise you. And that's exactly what we're going to explore, step by step. In each part of this journey, we'll uncover the habits, behaviors, and hidden triggers that are silently working against your ability to sleep through the night. We'll also dive into safe, natural, and science-supported ways to restore balance to your evenings. Because when you fix your nights, you start to fix your days. Now, I want to offer you something special. If you stay with me until the very end, I'll share a little-known natural infusion used traditionally in northern U.S. communities. It's a blend so simple and yet so effective, it can become a powerful ally in your nighttime routine, especially when used with the strategies you're about to learn. But be careful. Just like any natural approach, how you use it matters. The wrong preparation, the wrong timing, or even combining it with the wrong foods can cause your body to react in ways you don't want. So make sure you watch this through. Your body deserves precise care, not guesses. Because when it comes to your health, details matter. And the next strategy we'll uncover is one of the most important of all. Missing it could not only slow down your progress, it might actually make things worse. Many people believe that waking up to urinate at night is just part of getting older, something inevitable, like gray hair or slower reflexes. But what if I told you that's only part of the truth? What if there are hidden biological changes happening inside your body that you're not aware of? Changes that quietly shift your nighttime patterns and disrupt your natural balance. You see, as we age, our internal systems start to operate differently. One of the most important of these systems is your hormonal clock. And the hormone most involved in your body's ability to stay asleep without waking to urinate is called vasopressin. Vasopressin is a powerful antidiuretic hormone produced by the brain, and its job is to signal your kidneys to slow down urine production during sleep. This is what allows children and younger adults to sleep for 6 to 8 hours straight without needing a bathroom break. But as we get older, our bodies naturally produce less vasopressin, especially during the night. This shift means that your kidneys no longer get the message to slow down. So they keep filtering and producing urine even while you're trying to sleep. The result? A full bladder that forces you out of bed. But here's where it gets more complex. It's not just vasopressin that changes with age. The structure and sensitivity of the bladder also begin to shift. The detrusor muscle, which controls bladder contractions, can become more reactive, causing sensations of urgency even when your bladder isn't truly full. In short, your bladder becomes less patient, more irritable. And then there's the role of the circadian rhythm, your body's internal clock. Over time, this rhythm can become disrupted by poor sleep habits, blue light exposure at night, and inconsistent bedtime routines. This imbalance doesn't just affect your sleep quality, it also impacts how and when your body produces certain hormones, including vasopressin. You might not realize it, but this hormonal and muscular interplay could be why you've started waking up more frequently. And while aging is a contributor, it's not a destiny. These changes don't mean you're doomed to restless nights. In fact, knowing how your body works is the first step to supporting it in the right way. Let's take a look at something most people never think about: hydration timing. Drinking water throughout the day is essential, but many unknowingly concentrate their fluid intake in the evening. Think about it. You wake up, rush through breakfast, barely sip water all morning, then start drinking coffee, tea, or water around dinner time to make up for it. That well-intentioned habit could be overwhelming your kidneys just as your vasopressin levels are dropping for the night. And that's not all. Many Americans consume salty, protein-heavy dinners, like processed meats, cheese-laden dishes, or takeout, which increase the body's need for water to process those nutrients. So, even if you didn't drink much at night, your body is forced to draw and expel extra fluid to handle the meal, again resulting in nighttime trips to the bathroom. So, what can you do? Start by spacing out your hydration. Drink water earlier in the day, especially between breakfast and lunch. Avoid large amounts of fluids after 7 p.m. And reconsider the contents of your evening meals. Choose lighter dinners with natural potassium sources like sweet potatoes, leafy greens, or lentils, which help regulate fluid balance without overloading your system. Also, be mindful of caffeine and alcohol, which are both diuretics. A cup of green tea at 9 p.m. might seem harmless, but it could be setting the stage for a 2 a.m. bathroom run. These shifts may seem small, but they are powerful. And when combined with natural hormone-supporting habits like a regular bedtime and reduced evening screen time, they can retrain your body to do what it once did naturally: rest without interruption. So yes, aging affects how your body works, but it doesn't control your outcome. Your body listens to the patterns you create, and with just a few intentional changes, you can begin to shift that pattern back in your favor. What's coming next could be one of the most overlooked reasons you're not seeing progress, even after changing your hydration and sleep habits. Ignoring it won't just slow your results, it may actually be silently working against your health goals. Don't miss it. You've already learned how age-related hormonal shifts and timing of hydration can deeply influence your sleep. But let's dive into something just as powerful, perhaps even more directly in your control: your nightly habits. Because what you do in the few hours before bed can either calm your system or trigger it into overdrive. And the truth is, most people have no idea they're unintentionally setting themselves up for a disrupted night. Let's start with something many people consider relaxing: sipping a cup of tea in the evening. Whether it's chamomile, peppermint, or another herbal option, the goal is usually to unwind. But here's what few people realize: many herbal teas, even those marketed as bedtime-friendly, have mild diuretic properties. This means they stimulate the kidneys to produce more urine. That comforting nightly ritual could be exactly what's prompting your bladder to wake you just a few hours later. And what about those small, sweet treats or snacks before bed? Many turn to a cookie, chocolate square, or a salty bite to satisfy evening cravings. The issue isn't just the sugar or sodium, but how your body processes these ingredients at night. Foods high in salt cause fluid retention initially, but later lead to increased urination as your body works to restore its internal balance. Combine that with lower nighttime vasopressin levels, and you have a perfect recipe for a midnight bathroom trip. Now consider the timing of dinner. In many North American households, it's common to have dinner between 7 and 8 p.m., sometimes even later. Hearty meals filled with animal protein, processed carbs, and rich sauces can be hard to digest, especially if you're sedentary afterward. What your body can't fully process gets stored or flushed, and that means extra work for your kidneys and bladder right when they're supposed to be resting. Here's another habit you might not think twice about: taking certain medications at night. Many common drugs, including blood pressure pills and even some supplements like magnesium or vitamin C, can have diuretic effects. Of course, you should never stop or change your medication without consulting your healthcare provider, but being aware of how and when you take them can make a significant difference. Some prescriptions are flexible in timing and can be shifted to earlier in the day if medically appropriate. Even beyond food and drink, your posture plays a role. That's right. If you've been on your feet all day, fluids accumulate in your legs due to gravity. When you finally lie down, your body begins to reabsorb and process that fluid. The kidneys go to work, and once again, your bladder fills. This is especially common in people with mild circulatory issues or those who sit or stand for long periods. One simple remedy: elevate your legs for 15 to 20 minutes before bed. It allows the body to redistribute that fluid earlier in the evening, before your head hits the pillow. There's also a hidden emotional trigger that silently contributes to nighttime urgency: anxiety. That lingering tension you carry from the day, the argument you replay in your mind, the emails you regret not answering, the worries about tomorrow, can manifest physically. Stress activates your sympathetic nervous system, putting your body into a state of alert. And in that state, the bladder becomes more sensitive, leading to what feels like an urgent need to urinate, even if the volume is small. This means your mind and body are far more connected than most people realize. So creating a peaceful wind-down routine, one that signals to your entire system that it's time to relax, isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. That could be gentle stretching, deep breathing, journaling, or even a warm, not hot, bath. When your nervous system calms, so does your bladder. So while age and hormones play a role, your habits might be telling a different story. The late-night tea, the salty snack, the timing of your medication, even the unresolved tension from your day, these are pieces of a puzzle that, when solved, gives you back the gift of uninterrupted rest. But be mindful. Making just one of these changes in isolation may bring limited results. True improvement comes from stacking small adjustments, consistently and consciously. And the next factor we'll explore is perhaps the most unexpected one of all. It's something people rarely connect to nighttime urination, yet it could be the invisible force pushing against all your progress. Overlooking it won't just hinder your results. It could quietly contribute to deeper imbalances, if not addressed. After identifying the subtle ways our nightly habits might be disrupting sleep, let's turn our attention to something even more surprising: the food you eat when the sun is still rising. It may sound strange at first, but your morning plate might be influencing your bladder's behavior nearly 16 hours later. How? Through the complex and fascinating relationship between nutrition, mineral balance, and kidney function. Breakfast is often rushed or skipped altogether. For many people, it's a coffee to go, maybe a pastry, or some reheated leftovers. But what you consume in the morning lays the groundwork for how your body regulates fluids, processes nutrients, and stabilizes energy levels throughout the day. And that includes how your bladder functions when you're fast asleep. Let's look at one common breakfast staple: sodium. It's present in most processed breakfast items. Think bacon, sausages, egg sandwiches, pre-packaged bagels, or breakfast burritos. These foods often contain more than half the recommended daily intake of salt in just one serving. While sodium helps regulate blood pressure and hydration, Too much of it causes the body to hold on to water temporarily, only to later stimulate a strong diuretic response as it works to flush the excess. Now imagine this: a salty breakfast, followed by minimal water intake in the morning and afternoon, and then heavier hydration in the evening. This pattern causes the body to retain fluid early, then release it later, often during the night, putting stress on the kidneys and bladder when they should be resting. It's a delayed reaction, but it's one that repeats daily for millions. Another overlooked factor is the lack of potassium in the standard American breakfast. Potassium is a crucial mineral that works alongside sodium to regulate fluid balance in the body. While high sodium can lead to fluid retention and increased nighttime urination, adequate potassium helps the body manage these levels more effectively. Unfortunately, potassium-rich foods like bananas, oranges, sweet potatoes, and avocados rarely make it onto the breakfast table. Instead, sugar and processed carbs dominate, spiking insulin, disrupting cortisol levels, and interfering with the body's natural rhythm. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Potassium doesn't just help regulate hydration, it also helps relax the muscles of the urinary tract. This can make a real difference for people who experience urgency and frequency at night. So what can you do? Begin your day with foods that support your body's mineral balance. Instead of reaching for processed or salty items, build your plate with whole, nourishing options. Try a bowl of oatmeal topped with sliced banana and chia seeds. Add a side of steamed spinach with a drizzle of olive oil. Or a smoothie made with leafy greens, berries, flaxseed, and almond milk. These foods are rich in fiber, antioxidants, and minerals that ease the burden on your kidneys later in the day. You can also consider introducing seeds like pumpkin and sunflower, which are naturally high in zinc and magnesium, two nutrients that support healthy bladder and nervous system function. These can be sprinkled into yogurt or added to smoothies. And don't forget hydration. Drinking a full glass of water within 30 minutes of waking helps reset your metabolism, rehydrate your tissues, and signal to your body that the day has begun. This early hydration encourages the kidneys to begin their filtering process in sync with your natural circadian rhythm, easing the workload later in the evening. When you consistently nourish your body this way in the morning, it begins to regulate fluid retention more effectively. That means less pressure on your bladder at night, fewer interruptions to your sleep, and a deeper sense of restoration each morning. Think of your breakfast as a form of preventive care, not just for energy or weight management, but for your nighttime peace. And remember, these changes aren't about restriction or perfection. They're about giving your body the tools it needs to function with ease. Because the way you start your day may be the very key to unlocking better nights. But even with balanced meals and improved routines, one powerful element still lurks behind the scenes. It's something emotional, something chemical, and something most people overlook entirely. Ignoring this next piece may not only block your progress, it could gradually worsen the very symptoms you're trying to resolve. Let's address it before it grows in silence. You've already learned how your morning choices influence your night, but now we need to explore a less visible force. One that lives quietly in the background of your daily routine. One that might be doing more damage than any meal or glass of water. That force is stress. Most people think of stress as a mental or emotional issue, worrying about bills, deadlines, relationships, or health. But stress doesn't stay trapped in the mind. It moves through your body like electricity, influencing your organs, hormones, and even the way your bladder behaves while you sleep. When your brain perceives stress, it signals your adrenal glands to release cortisol. This hormone is essential in small, well-regulated amounts. It helps you stay alert, manage inflammation, and respond to daily challenges. But when cortisol remains elevated, especially into the evening, it throws your entire system off balance. Chronic stress affects your circadian rhythm, the internal clock that guides your sleep-wake cycle. As cortisol stays high at night, your body delays melatonin production, which makes it harder to fall and stay asleep. But the impact doesn't stop there. Cortisol also interferes with vasopressin, the hormone responsible for reducing urine production at night. Without enough vasopressin, your kidneys continue working at full speed, filling your bladder even as you try to rest. This is why people under constant stress often report not only poor sleep, but frequent nighttime urination, even if they're eating well and staying hydrated appropriately. The body remains on high alert, unable to fully enter a state of deep restoration. But there's another layer to this. Stress also activates your sympathetic nervous system, better known as the fight-or-flight response. In this state, your muscles tense, your breathing becomes shallow, and your bladder becomes hypersensitive. Even a small amount of urine can feel urgent, leading to more frequent awakenings throughout the night. Many people don't realize how connected their emotional state is to their physical symptoms. They treat their sleep issues with supplements or teas, never considering that unresolved tension may be the root cause. But the truth is, you can't relax your body if your mind is constantly racing. So how can you begin to reverse this pattern? Start by creating a nightly ritual that tells your body, it's safe now. This might include 10 minutes of deep breathing using the 4-7-8 technique. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale slowly for 8. This calms the nervous system and lowers cortisol. You could also journal before bed, not to solve problems, but simply to release them. Write down what's on your mind, what went well that day, or what you're grateful for. Studies have shown that gratitude practices reduce cortisol and improve sleep quality. Physical practices can also help. Gentle stretches, especially in the hips and lower back, where we often store emotional tension, can release built-up stress. A warm shower with calming essential oils like lavender or chamomile can also signal to your body that the day is ending. And here's something many overlook: ambient lighting. Bright white light in the evening, especially from phone and computer screens, tells your brain to stay alert. Swap harsh lighting for soft, warm tones in the last hour before bed. This shift supports melatonin production and sends a clear message to your brain that it's time to wind down. The goal isn't to eliminate all stress from your life. That's not realistic. But you can learn to manage the way your body responds to it. And as your cortisol levels begin to stabilize, your hormones, your bladder, and your sleep will follow. This is more than relaxation. It's repair. It's giving your body permission to step out of defense mode and into healing. And with that shift, your nights can begin to feel restful again. But we're not done yet, because even with the right foods, better hydration, and reduced stress, there's still one final step. A natural remedy that brings it all together, but only if it's used correctly. Miss the details, and you might miss the results. And depending on your body, using it the wrong way could cause more harm than good. So stay with me. Everything we've explored so far leads to this moment, the final, practical piece of the puzzle. You've learned how age-related hormonal shifts, hydration timing, dietary habits, and emotional balance all work together to influence your nights. But now it's time to put that knowledge into action, with something real, tangible, and natural. Something your body can actually use to restore balance. A simple, carefully prepared infusion. Natural remedies are powerful, but only when respected. When used incorrectly, wrong quantities, poor combinations, or imprecise timing, they can produce effects opposite to what you intended. But when prepared and consumed with care, they can gently support your system in ways that synthetic approaches often overlook. This infusion is rooted in traditional wisdom passed down through generations in certain northern U.S. communities. Places where long winters and limited access to conventional treatments led people to rely on the plants around them. Over time, they discovered how to combine certain seeds and herbs to support the body's natural cycles, including nighttime urinary control. At the heart of this remedy are two main ingredients: coriander seeds and dried passion fruit peel. Let's explore why they matter. Coriander seeds are more than just a spice. They're known for their mild diuretic, anti-inflammatory, and muscle-relaxing properties. They help soothe the urinary tract, reduce bladder irritation, and support kidney function. But unlike stronger diuretics, coriander does this in a balanced way. It calms the system instead of overstimulating it. Passion fruit peel, particularly when dried and gently steeped, contains natural compounds that promote relaxation. It's traditionally used to reduce restlessness, ease anxiety, and support deeper sleep. The peel also carries subtle muscle relaxants, which can reduce spasms in the bladder and smooth muscle walls, promoting calm during the night. To prepare this remedy correctly, you'll need 1 teaspoon of whole coriander seeds, 1 teaspoon of dried passion fruit peel, washed and free of pesticides, 1.5 to 2 cups of filtered water. Instructions: bring the water to a light boil. Add both ingredients, reduce to a simmer, and cover the pot. Let it simmer for 10 minutes. Turn off the heat and allow it to steep, covered, for another 5 minutes. Strain, pour into a cup, and drink it slowly 30 to 45 minutes before bedtime. This timing is important. Drinking it too early may not allow the herbs to take effect during your peak sleep window. Drinking it too late may result in your bladder reacting before your body has had time to relax. Now here's the bonus tip, something few people talk about, but it can make a major difference. Add a pinch of Ceylon cinnamon to the infusion right before drinking. Not only does it enhance the flavor, but Ceylon cinnamon helps regulate blood sugar, supports circulation, and has mild sedative effects. These all work together to enhance the calming, balancing nature of the infusion. If used consistently, say 4 to 5 nights per week, this blend can help your body reset its rhythm. But as with all natural remedies, consistency and patience are key. Don't expect a miracle after one night. Instead, pay attention to how your sleep, mood, and urinary frequency shift gently over time. And remember, even though the ingredients are natural, that doesn't mean they're harmless for everyone. If you're on medications, pregnant, or have chronic kidney conditions, always consult a health professional before adding new herbal practices to your routine. This approach is not about suppressing a symptom, it's about supporting a system. It's about listening to your body's signals and responding with care. You're not at war with your bladder. You're inviting it to return to balance. Let this be a reminder that nature has always offered us tools for healing, but it's the knowledge, the intention, and the respect with which we use them that unlock their true potential. And if this message has brought value to your life, if it helped you see your body with more clarity and compassion, then share it. Someone else is out there searching for answers in the dark, just like you were. Help them find the light. Like, comment, and subscribe for more guidance rooted in wisdom and grounded in science. Because health is not a destination, it's a journey, one you don't have to take alone.